Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Dark Magician Girl deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Mimi. And this deck is an extremely nostalgic deck that I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. And definitely give Mimi some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're playing 2 copies of the Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl is an extremely nostalgic card that's so cool to actually base a deck around. And definitely comment down below what your favorite artwork of Dark Magician Girl actually is. We then play 2 copies of the Dark Magician. Dark Magician is definitely a 2-0 in the build to basically just combo with our copy of Dark Magician Girl. We play a single copy of Timaeus the United Dragon. Timaeus is great as a 1-of in the build because this card is basically a walking polymerization that we can easily summon out to our side of the field and help us go over all sorts of cool fusion plays. We play a single copy of Kiwi Magician Girl. Kiwi is really good as a 1-0 in the deck, but I feel like 1 copy is really all you need. We play a single copy of Chocolate Magician Girl. Chocolate is definitely a 1-0 in the build, and this card is one of the best normal summons in the deck. With the ability at once per turn, you can discard a spellcaster type monster to draw a card. Also, once per turn, if this card is targeted for an attack, you can actually target a spellcaster type monster in your graveyard, accept another copy of this card, and special summon it, then change the attack target to that monster, and if you do, the attacking monster's attack becomes half its current attack points, which is great to be able to bring back a spellcaster to your side of the field, and also switch the attack target. We play a single copy of Apple Magician Girl. Apple is really good as a 1-of in the deck, but again, I feel like 1 copy is really all you need. With the ability once per turn, if this card is targeted for an attack, you can actually special summon a level 5 or lower spellcaster type monster from your hand, then change the attack target to it, and if you do, the attacking monster's attack becomes half its current attack points. And if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can target up to 3 other Magician Girl monsters with different names in your graveyard and add them to your hand, which is a great effect to help you recover your cards. Then I see a copy of Lemon Magician Girl. Lemon is definitely a 1-of as well. With the ability at once per turn, you can actually tribute a Magician Girl monster to be able to add a spellcaster type monster from your deck to your hand. Then I see a copy of Berry Magician Girl. Berry Magician Girl is basically the Stratos of the deck. With the ability, if this card is normal summon, you can actually add a Magician Girl monster from your deck to your hand. And once per turn, during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card effect that targets this card, or it's targeted for an attack, you can actually change this card's battle position, and if you do, special summon a Magician Girl monster from the deck, except another copy of this card, which is a great effect that can bring your copy of Dark Magician Girl directly to your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Magician Souls. Magician Souls is great as a 3-of in the build because this card actually helps us draw cards and can also summon out a Dark Magician Girl. With the ability, you can actually send up to 2 spells and traps from your hand or field to the graveyard to draw that many cards, and if this card's in the hand, you can send a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from the deck to the graveyard to either special summon this card or send it to the graveyard, and then special summon a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl from the graveyard, which is a great effect to instantly get the exact spellcaster that you need. We then play a single copy of Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod is great as a 1-of in the build, but I feel like 1 copy is really all you need, especially with all the other Magician Girl summons in this deck. This card has the ability, when this card is normal summon, you can actually add a spell trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Dark Magician in its text, instantly grabbing the exact Dark Magician spell trap that you need. We then play 3 copies of Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos is great as a 3-of in the build, as this card can instantly get us to a copy of Magician's Rod or Magician Souls. We then play 3 copies of the Primite Dragon. Primite Dragon is definitely a 3-of in the build because if this card is normal summon, you can set a Primite, a spell or trap card from the deck, which is a great ability to be able to use to instantly get your copy of Lordly Load, then Drill Beam or Primite Fusion, which is such a powerful ability to be able to use. Plus, this card is a dragon monster, meaning we can instantly use it to be able to fusion summon with our copy of Dark Magician Girl into a copy of Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, which is awesome. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Magician's Salvation. Magician's Salvation is an amazing one of the deck that when this card is activated, you can set an Eternal Soul directly from your deck, which is an awesome ability so we can bring out our copy of Dark Magician. This card also has the ability if it's normal or special summon a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl, you can actually target one of those monsters and then special summon a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl from your graveyard with a different name than that monster, meaning if you summon out a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl, you get the other one to your side of the field, which is so cool to get both of them out at the same time. We then see a copy of Bond Between Teacher and Student. This card is such a powerful one of the deck because this card has the ability, if you control a Dark Magician, you can special summon a Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or your graveyard. Then set a Dark Magic attack, Dark Burning attack, Dark Burning Magic, or a Dark Magic Twin Burst directly from your deck, which is an amazing ability to be able to use to instantly get to the exact card that you need. And let's see a copy of Dark Burning Magic. Dark Burning Magic is a game-ending card, and one of our win conditions in this deck with the ability that even if you control monsters whose original name is Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, you can destroy all cards that your opponent controls, which is an insane ability because this card is a quick play spell. We can actually set it to our side of the field and use it as an interruption to completely board wipe our opponent, which is insane to be able to do. We then see a copy of Dark Burning Attack. Dark Burning Attack is so cool as a one-of and is actually Dark Magician Girl's attack spell. With the ability, if you control a Dark Magician Girl monster, destroy all face-up monsters that your opponent controls, which is a great ability to instantly destroy all your opponent's monsters that are face-up. We then play a single copy of Dark Magical Circle. Dark Magical Circle is great as a one-of in the deck. Basically just use this card for consistency to basically look at the top 3 cards of our deck and then grab a Dark Magician card off the top of our deck and add it to our hand, placing the other 2 back in any order. Plus, if you summon in a Dark Magician to your side of the field, you can banish a card off the field, which is pretty cool to combine this card with your copy of Eternal Soul. We then play 2 copies of Secrets of Dark Magic. Secrets of Dark Magic is great as a 2-of in the build because this card is basically polymerization for your copy of Dark Magician, which is amazing to instantly go in for a fusion play, and you can also use this card with Dark Magician Girl to instantly go in for a fusion play, which is so cool. We then play 2 copies of Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This card is crazy to help you lock down your opponent, as in this deck we're always going to control a spellcaster monster. And this card is ability if you only control a spellcaster, if only you control a spellcaster monster, your opponent cannot activate spell cards. And if you control no spellcaster monster, you cannot activate spell cards, which is a crazy powerful effect to be able to use to instantly lock down the board so your opponent cannot use spell cards, which is so cool. This card is definitely a 2-of in the build and just awesome to be able to play to lock down the board. We then play 3 copies of Soul Servant. Soul Servant is really good as a 3-of in the build because this card lets you place a card on top of your deck from your hand, deck, or graveyard that is a Dark Magician or mentions Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, except a copy of Soul Servant. And during the main phase, you can actually banish this card in the graveyard and draw cards equal to the number of Paladinium monsters, Dark Magician, and her Dark Magician Girl with different name on the field or in the graveyard, which usually in this deck you're going to get a draw 2 off this card. We play a single copy of Primite Drill Beam. Drill Beam is great as a 1-of in the deck. Basically just use this card as a negate and a banish. We play a single copy of Primite Fusion. Primite Fusion is great to help us into all sorts of really cool fusion plays and also recycle banished copies of the Dark Magician, which is absolutely amazing. We then play 3 copies of Lordly Load. Lordly Load is really good as a 3-of in the deck. So when this card is activated, you get to add a Primite card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. You can also declare a normal monster card's name, and then special summon one to declare a normal monster from the hand, deck, of the grave in defense system, which is a pretty cool effect to be able to use with our copy of the Dark Magician. We then play 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Super Poly is just great to help us break our opponent's board by fusing our opponent's monsters away to instantly summon out a monster so we can swing in for game. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 1, and that's going to be a single copy of Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul is great in this deck because this card has the ability to special summon a Dark Magician back to her side of the field every single turn, which when you combine this card with our Dark Magician field spell, Magician Salvation, you can also bring back a copy of Dark Magician Girl, which is so cool to instantly get them both on your side of the field. This card is amazing in the deck because every Dark Magician in your monster zone is also unaffected by our opponent's card effects as well, giving us some awesome protection for our copies of Dark Magician. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. This card is so cool to be able to play in the deck because this card is just so easy to summon in this particular build, and also helps us pop a card on the field. And let's see a copy of Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. Dark Magician the Dragon Knight is really cool just to help us protect our back row and is a great one-of in the build. And let's see a copy of Red Eye's Dark Dragoon. Red Eye's Dark Dragoon is so easy to summon this deck and just an awesome card to be able to play. It cannot be destroyed by card effects and neither player can target it with card effects, and also it's a walking negate, which is so cool. And let's see a copy of the Dark Magicians. Dark Magicians is great to be able to play in this deck because once per turn when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, you can actually draw a card. Then if it's a spell or trap card, you can set it, and if it's a trap or a quick play spell, you can activate it this turn. And if this card is destroyed, you get to special summon both a Dark Magician and a Dark Magician Girl from the hand, deck, or graveyard, which is great to instantly bring out both of our monsters to our side of the field. Let's see a copy of the Primite Dragon Fusion monster. This card is awesome in the deck as a one-up, just to be able to summon out to our side of the field through Primite Fusion, with the ability it gains 1,000 attack for each normal monster used for this card's fusion summon, and negates the activated effects of monsters that your opponent controls whose levels, ranks, or link ratings are less than or equal to the number of normal monsters on the field and in the graveyard. And this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. You can actually special summon a normal monster from the deck in defense position, which is a pretty cool effect. And let's see a copy of Cecrion. This card is really good as a one-of in the deck and an awesome super poly target. Well, the ability just takes a dragon plus a spellcaster to make this card, which is so easy to do in this deck. And this card loses 100 attack for each of your banished cards. And also, while you control this fusion summon card, your opponent cannot activate the effects of special summon dragon or spellcaster monsters that they control, which is a crazy powerful effect just to help you lock down the board, especially when you put this card on the field with Secret Village, which is actually insane. Also, you can target a dragon and a spellcaster monster in the graveyard and special summon one of them, and you place the other on the bottom of the deck, which is a pretty cool effect. And let's see a copy of Garua. Garua is a really good super poly target alongside our copy of Mud Dragon. These cards are great to be able to play in the build, but I feel like you only need a single copy of this card to go along with a copy of our Cecrion. We then play a single copy of Typhon. Typhon is great to be able to play in the deck to basically just use this card as a skill drain for 3,000 iron attack with monsters and a bounce. And let's see a copy of Access Code. Access Code is great to be able to play in the deck to basically just help us go in for a game and pop multiple cards in the field, and this card comes out absolutely massive. And let's see a copy of Selene. Selene is great as a one-up build to basically just climb into your copy of Access Code. Let's see a copy of the Dark Charmer. Dark Charmer is great to be able to play to basically use this card to climb into Selene and then Access Code. And let's see a copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is great in this deck as a one-up. Basically just use this card as a double interruption. Let's see a copy of Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is awesome in the deck to be able to use to basically just use this card because it has the ability, if you fusion summon, you get to special summon a level 4 lower monster in the grave, which is such a powerful effect to be able to use, and it's just a really cool card in this deck. We then see a copy of Artemis. Artemis is great to be able to use their copy of Magician's Rod, and it's just a really cool card overall in this deck to be able to play. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Dark Magician Girl deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's so fun to be able to play, and it's insane how nostalgic this deck actually is. To be able to just summon out Dark Magician Girl alongside Dark Magician to help us go in for game. So, that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.